There's a lot of pride here, a lot of tradition. They're going to celebrate the 10-year anniversary tonight, Adam, of the Auburn football team that went to the state championship game.
Yeah, a lot of people here tonight. There's a lot going on when we walked up here. Had some rain here earlier today, and I wasn't even sure I knew what that was. It's been so long, but there's a buzz in the atmosphere. It's going to be a big game here tonight.
Yeah, it definitely will be is a big game. At Porta, they look like they are trending the right way. This is a big, big game for them. We'll see how their offense does tonight. That's initial thoughts. Sammy?
Okay, guys, so that's it. That's our time. Let's now meet our first team here tonight. Our host, it's the Auburn Trojans. Auburn, they entered this game without a win on the year, but this team has held their head high, and they're continuing to do so, focused on getting things back on track, building some momentum heading into 2024, and hopefully delivering a homecoming win for the community.
We are a very, very young competitive team. We have a lot of youth, 5 healthy seniors, so the struggles we had early on were turnovers, and it comes from youth.
And I mean, we have a lot of young kids that are playing varsity. They're going to have a lot of experience. But I mean, I really just all these seniors, I don't want to give up on them either. But so we're going to try our hardest to keep pushing through this season.
We were in a similar scenario last year. It's always hard to know when your end date is and to come out here and focus. So
we got to play the better defense. We struggled on defense all year, but looking to get better at that, and obviously keep running the ball well and dominating up front.
I would really get us going. I mean, we're coming off a losing streak, but I mean we're going to come out and try our hardest. And if we get this win, I really think that we could go win these next couple of games that we have.
Yeah, it would mean a lot to us, and it would mean a lot to the whole town. I mean, we've been struggling lately, but we're looking to get back to where Auburn used to be. And
just competing and doing it for our community, doing it for each other, playing for pride, and making sure that we don't let our community down on homecoming.
You know, we're just trying to get a spark going, and I think if we win this one, we could get a couple more in a row and start feeling better about ourselves.
So there's our host, the Trojans, Paul, Adam. You heard it from Coach and the players. It's about pride, and it's about showing up for the community here on homecoming. They are the underdog, but could there be a recipe for success? And if there is, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough night, I think, for Auburn, but they can certainly beat Porta tonight. Auburn has gotten a little bit better this season.
Yeah, you know, they're playing a lot of young guys. When you're playing a lot of freshmen and sophomores, by the time you get to week 5, week 6, you're hoping those guys have grown up a little bit, and they're playing more like juniors, seniors, things like that. They need this younger crowd to start picking up. They've got a bright future ahead of them. I know this season hasn't gone the way they had hoped when they started, but, you know, this is the Auburn Trojan football program. They're going to be fine when you kind of look down the line.
Yeah, and Porta's offense is pretty good. The coach's son is the quarterback, and Lane McAnally, and he's had a good season so far. And their offense is going to be the key tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Porta has really they're all over the map. When I watched film this week, they can run the ball, they can throw the ball. They've kind of been a different team each week. I really think their identity is running the football, trying to overpower people. If they can do that here tonight, it's going to be a long night for Auburn Trojan fans.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Now we switch to the away side of our Week 6 game of the week. It's Porta AC, the Blue Jays, a team that had some heightened expectations here entering the season. They started with a narrow defeat against Olympia, then 2 comfortable wins and 2 big losses. But Porta, they feel that 44-8 win last week against Pleasant Plains, that has set them on the right path.
I mean, I'm really liking the team this year. Obviously, considering other years, we've improved a whole lot, and it's so much more exciting being able to go in there and actually, you know, compete for a playoff spot.
The guys that have the talent are now coming around. You know, I think doing those smaller things, you know, relying on just getting first downs versus touchdowns, making, you know, tackles, making the right blocks, those types of things, just puts us in a better spot.
Offensively, I would say we're super strong. We have a big O-line. And it's kind of hard to just key certain guys because we have guys everywhere that can make plays.
I feel like we have a heart and soul in the team, and I feel like the soul of the team is our offense. You know, they carry us. We revolve a lot around them, but the defense is the heart.
Same. You know, our focus is Auburn. We're not looking past Auburn. Auburn has tons of athletes over there. You know, their record doesn't reflect who they are as a football team. There's not a bad team in the Saginaw Conference.
I mean, it'd really put a lot more morale into the team, and you know, keep that streak going. Because I mean, we're planning on winning out the rest of the season. That's what we really want.
This week was the first round of the playoffs for us. So we're in week 2 of the playoffs now. So that's how we're looking at things. It would mean everything for us to take this next step with momentum going into to next week.
So there we have it, the road half of our game of the week. The Blue Jays coming off an impressive win over Pleasant Plains, as we mentioned. Guys, Porta is certainly favored in tonight's matchup, but bigger picture, who is Porta AC? Are they what we saw against Plains? Are they what we saw against Maroa and Williamsville? Or is it something in between?
Yeah, we'll find out tonight. Like Adam said, Porta's ground game is really, really good. They're led by Hunter Morris, all-conference lineman last year. They have 3 running backs who are very solid.
Yeah, out of those 3 running backs, I'm looking at Josh Carr had 3 touchdowns last week. He's really kind of been the catalyst to maybe figuring out their identity and what they can do well. They've got a 3-headed beast back there, though, with different guys they can throw at you. All 3 of them do something a little bit different than the other one, but I think Carr is kind of the leader of that trio.
Yeah, and Drew Carter, one of the other running backs, he's got 287 yards this season, 4 touchdowns. So the ground game obviously is going to be huge tonight for the Blue Jays.
Absolutely. If that gets going, it could be a long night for this Auburn Trojan homecoming. We saw what they could do last week in a big score against Pleasant Plains.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Adam. We will check in with the pair of you both in just a little while, but now it's time for us to look at our pregame players to watch on both sides of this matchup. First up, the host, Auburn. It's going to be a bandaged Swiss Army knife. It's Coy Grossner. He's a wide receiver that has a cast, but it hasn't stopped him from producing. Mostly on the ground so far, 188 yards in 4 games recorded, but also the cast, it's a little smaller entering this game, so he might be more involved in that passing game. And for Porta, it's their quarterback, Lane McAnally. You heard the guys mention it, the junior gunslinger. He found a way to produce on the ground and through the air last week against Pleasant Plains. I'd expect the same, and also watch out for Willow Bryan out of the backfield, another big-time Porta threat. Now, coming up after the break, while we have broken down our game of the week between Porta and Auburn, we still have more to discuss. More for Paul and Adam to analyze for us with a few other big conference matchups tonight in Central Illinois.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Showdown preview show.
Welcome back in here. Green Hyundai Friday Night Showdown pregame show. Porta AC on the road here in week 6. But we talked about that game of the week. We talked about that before the break. Now it's time for us to bring back our broadcasting tandem of Paul and Adam to discuss a few other games here in Central Illinois. Guys, it's crunch time. And there are some big conference duels going on. First in the Central State 8, Springfield High, a statement win over Quincy Notre Dame last week. Jacksonville, they put the hammer down on Southeast. Both teams are now 2nd and 3rd in the Central State 8 West. Guys, who's coming away with this one?
Yeah, the Senators 4-1, Jacksonville 3-2. Of course, we saw the Crimsons last week on CEFCU Friday Night Showdown. Great rushing game, 360 yards on the ground. Adam, Springfield High has to win this one tonight, right? Because they've got Rochester, Glenwood, and next week SHG.
Yeah, it's a tough battle the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
I'm not sure there's anybody in the state with a tougher schedule than what the Senators have facing. So tonight is a big one. They felt like one got left behind at MacArthur. We could be talking about an undefeated Springfield High team. Huge win last week against Quincy Notre Dame. Do they have the aerial attack tonight to take down Jacksonville? Can they slow down that run game? We saw how good that could be. I think there's a lot going on, a lot to look forward to. I think we get a high score over in Jacksonville tonight.
I think you're right. And running back Darren Henry was the player of the game last week. We did that game. He's going to be tough to stop. But the Senators' offense is incredible. Brody Scheffler, the quarterback, still only thrown 1 interception through 5 games.
Yeah, I think with 19 touchdowns to go along with it.
Yes.
The passing attack that Springfield High, they're very in tune. And I think the biggest thing this year that's been different than years past is he hasn't gotten sacked a whole lot. And I know talking with Coach Hev over the summer, that was something they were going to work on because when you got a player like Brody Scheffler, you want to keep his jersey clean as much as possible.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
So now game 2, guys, it's in the Sangamo. Williamsville, 2-score win over Olympia, and the Warriors' only blemish on the resume so far is week 1 against Maroa. Now Athens, they play the other standard in the conference on the road. Guys, Athens, they're hot, but are they hot enough to stop the Bullets while they're on the road?
Well, the Bullets have had Athen's number. There have been some really close games over the last 10 years.
A few years ago.
Athen overtime
Yeah.
at Williamsville, incredible game. The Bullets won. They won. The Bullets have won 9 in a row. But Gage Hahn for Athen's, what's this? 16 touchdowns. He's rushed for more than 1,000 yards this season. Athen's is back.
He is second in the state in rushing right now. If Athens wants to win tonight, they need to have a 9, 10, 11-minute drive against that Williamsville offense where it's 2-3 yards at a time, but it's constantly moving. Because if you can keep Jackson Sanders and Matthew Miller off the field, I think that is their chance to win. That Williamsville offense is very dynamic. Olympia got a first-hand look at that. If it weren't for some onside kicks that Olympia recovered last week, that score might have been a lot bigger. But I think if Athens has a chance tonight, it's at keeping the ball away from that Bullet offense.
And if they can wear out that Williamsville defense, because the defense has struggled a little bit for the Bullets this year so far.
In the run game, what Olympia did last week, they put up some numbers. Jimmy Lawler, running back for Stanford Olympia, also having an over 1,000-yard year so far. So Williamsville coming into this saw kind of last week what they're going to have to look forward to, but Athens is back. 2-7 last year. We all knew that was kind of out of the ordinary. Coach Knox has got them ready to go. He'll have them fired up tonight.
No doubt about it. That should be a good one. Sammy, back to you from Auburn. There's a few naps out here because it rained, which is great.
Love the rain. Thanks, Paul. Adam, those two will take things over in around 15 minutes for kickoff. But now we turn things to the eastern side of the state. Let's check in with our Carson Gordy. Now, Carson, not a ton of games numbers-wise on the Champaign side of things, but a few good matchups for sure. What are we looking at, Carson?
Ladies and gentlemen, the regular season already halfway done. So we can officially keep track of that playoff chase. And for many schools around Central Illinois, they don't make it every year. So winning these big games in October, that can end droughts that have lasted for multiple seasons. The rule of thumb, you need to win 5 games to make the playoffs, and there's a lot of Central Illinois teams approaching that mark, but Week 6 matchups could be must-wins. Over in Champaign, Centennial hosting the Urbana Tigers, who haven't won a game since COVID. The Chargers, they're 3-2, and a victory over their rival, it would be massive. Centennial, they haven't made the playoffs since 2023. And the Chargers, they're led by a stingy defense, allowing only 15 points per game. Longtime rivals St. Joe and Monticello, they meet again. It's been a tougher year for the Sages. After making the state championship last year, they lost a lot of seniors. So in 2025, they've beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but they've lost to the good teams, en route to a 3-2 start. St. Joe, though, they're one of the top offenses and teams in Central Illinois, behind their do-it-all quarterback Cody McKinney, and also Illinois Notre Dame football recruit Cameron Wagner. The Spartans, they're scoring 39 points per game. We also have Effingham traveling to take on Mahomet Seymour. It's time to buckle up for the Bulldogs, the 4-time defending conference champs. After a tough non-conference schedule, they're 2-3, and they're in danger of missing the playoffs if they get upset a couple more times. As for Effingham, they're 3-2, and an upset on the road tonight would make it very likely they make the playoffs, but a loss would really complicate their chances. And Westville back to being a top dog in Central Illinois, and they want to take out Clifton Central, who's undefeated tonight. It's year 30 of the Guy Goodlove era, and they've already clinched a playoff bid with a perfect 5-0 record, but Westville, they want more. Just look at these scores. I've never seen anything like this. 54 points, 49 points, 63 points, 72 points, and 63 points in their first 5 games of the year. So they're averaging 60 points per game. Low-key, I think they could hang 30 on the Kansas City Chiefs. And finally, Tolono Unity riding high with a 4-1 record, and they look like serious threats to make the state championship this year. Their offense unreal with Central Missouri quarterback commit Dane Eisenmeger.
He's very laid back. He's not loud, but he's a leader. He's a guy that everybody looks up to. He, obviously as he goes, our offense goes. He does a lot of the little things that you want a quarterback to do.
I'm Carson Gordy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tonight on ABC with the highlights.
Now, thanks, Carson, and don't forget we'll have all those highlights, like you mentioned, from tonight's games coming up on our CEFCU Friday Night Showdown recap show. The recap show kicks off at around 10:15 over on News Channel 20. I'll be breaking down all of the action from the gridiron with Carson. Again, that's tonight at around 10:15 p.m. And after the break, we'll check in with the rest of our Friday Night Showdown crew. First up, it'll be Matt Bednar with our football forecast before Spencer breaks down something fun on the outside of those white lines.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Showdown preview show.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Showdown preview show. We're going to be heading back out to Auburn to check in with the rest of our Friday Night Showdown crew. We start here with our meteorologist. It's not Darren Leeds, it's Matt Bednar. Matt, it's been hot daily, cool night side. Is that what we can expect out at our games tonight? Take it away.
Yeah, Sammy. The weather earlier today was definitely hot and a little humid. We actually had around 1.5 inches of rain come down in Auburn earlier this afternoon. But taking a look at radar right now, everything has pretty much dried out. I would say we're in the clear for tonight. All those rain showers stayed in Morgan County, didn't make their way into Auburn after that 1.5 inch rain shower that was over the area for a little bit. Now, conditions right now still a little humid outside, but I think as we continue to go throughout the night, it'll become more comfortable. Not much of a breeze anymore. There was earlier, so it should be a nice humid conditions out here. But the ground is a little soggy, but still a little hard because we're still in the drought in the area. Reporting live from Auburn, I'm meteorologist Matt Bednar. Back to you, Sammy.
We now take a quick look at the CS8 and Sangamo standings through 5 weeks. In Central State 8 West, it's SHD and Springfield High tied at the top, 3-0 in conference, while the Crimsons, they're 2-1. QND, they're 1-2. Lanphier and Southeast are 1-4 on the year. Glenwood dominating the East, 5-0, 3-0 in conference, tied between Rochester and MacArthur for second there. U-High, they're 1-2, while Lincoln, they got their first win in conference last week. And over the Sangamo top dogs, it's Williamsville and Maroa unbeaten. Athens, a statement win over Olympia that we previously mentioned to claim third. Olympia themselves in New Berlin tied at 3-2, with Porta and Plains tied at 6 with a 2-3 record. And of course, we know football, it brings the fun on the field, but also does that for the entire community, especially on Friday nights. And our sideline reporter Spencer Davis is live in Auburn with more from homecoming. Spencer, take it away.
Thanks, Sammy. And I'm standing by here with Matt Kink. And Matt, you're the athletic trainer here, and it's homecoming week. And I understand you played some football, you played some sports at least. Did you always look forward to homecoming week?
Oh yeah, homecoming week is always one of the best nights of football season, especially. Always looking forward to it every year.
So talk to me a little bit about athletic training. You how long have you been doing it here on the sidelines, and what makes you get so excited for it?
Well, this is my 5th year as an athletic trainer, my 3rd here at Auburn. What really gets me excited for it is just being around like this group of kids. They always make my day better. To see a group of kids that are always just in such high spirits, it'll just improve everyone's day. And I mean, it's really special to be a part of like a program, a community like Auburn. It's really a blessing, honestly.
We really appreciate your time, Mr. Kink, and best of luck there on the sidelines. Hopefully you're not too busy today.
Oh yeah, hopefully it'll be a quiet night for me. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, back over to you.
Thanks, Spencer. Our unsung heroes over on the sidelines there with our athletic trainers. Got to give them a little bit of love. But now when we come back, it'll be time for us to wrap things up here. Score predictions, next game of the week, and anthem before sending things back out to Paul, Adam, and Spencer.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Showdown preview show.
And it's our game of the week. We're taking a look at the field here, homecoming at Auburn. An exciting game as the Trojans, again on their homecoming, welcome Porta AC to town. The two teams battling out for an important Sangamo Conference game. Porta looking for their 3rd win in conference. Auburn looking for their 1st win on the season, looking to build a little bit of momentum as they head towards their final stretch of the season and hopefully into 2026. Getting Auburn football back on track. A win over Porta on homecoming could certainly do that. Well, that's our time for the Green Hyundai Friday Night Showdown preview show, but we'll be back next week for our CEFQ Friday Night Showdown Game of the Week in Week 7, and I'll be there instead of in the studio. Spencer is stepping into the booth for Paul, myself onto the sideline for Spencer, and Carson in for me as our Game of the Week is heading to St. Teresa, bringing back a rivalry between the Bulldogs and the Raiders of Central A&M in their first season of a co-op with Okaw Valley. That is certainly going to be an exciting game. And now to our staff predictions. Spencer and I finally in the win column thanks to Jacksonville. Paul and Adam, they remain unbeaten, and Carson just 1 loss so far. So as it seems, those general standings will remain as we've all picked Porta here in the game tonight. I personally went with a 34-12 score, Spencer 32-12, and Carson thinking it'd be 41-7. Then we look at our tandem of Paul and Adam, the guys who will never disagree. Paul, he is picking the closest score line in this matchup. It's 21-7 in favor of Porta, and Adam 42-14 in favor of Porta. But again, we have the opportunity for a little broadcaster's curse, a little broadcaster's jink. But that's going to do it for myself here with the pregame show. It's time for me to wrap up here and send things back out to Paul, Adam, Spencer for our Week 6 Friday Night Showdown Game of the Week. I hope everyone enjoys the game. Take it away, our broadcasting duo, and of course, can't forget Spencer.